been almost 6 years since Dr. Arizona Robbins, Jessica Capshaw, left the hallowed halls of Gray Sloan Memorial. And if you're wondering if she and Callie are raising their daughter together in the Big Apple, your guess is as good as mine. All we know is that Arizona is a rock star fetal surgeon who is about to operate on a baby's brain while still in the womb. Everyone is super excited since this has never been done before. Well, everyone except Bailey, Chandra Wilson, who feels a little duped that Arizona failed to mention that 30-week pregnant Vita is her guinea pig for this groundbreaking procedure. Oh, and Vita isn't thrilled about a very large needle poking through her belly into her baby's head while she is awake. I'm inclined to see Sweet Vita's point on this one, Arizona. According to Amelia, Katerina Scorsone, and Joe, Camilla Luddington, the likelihood of Vita's baby having a viable life outside the surgery is extremely slim. It's understandable that Vita's emotions are all over the map, and in an aha moment, Arizona creates a 3D model of Vita's baby's head so she can show her exactly what she and Amelia will be doing in the OR. That's pretty much all it took for Vita to flip her stance by giving Arizona the go-ahead to prep for surgery. Bailey and I are not feeling it, but no one seems to care. I'm so relieved that the anesthesiologist gave Vita some earphones, so the very awake woman does not hear the muffled shock of Arizona calmly freaking out that the baby has started to move mid-surgery. Never fear. Arizona and Amelia are the best at what they do. Vita is fine, and the baby is healed. Everyone rejoices, and Bailey exhales a sigh of relief, turning to her wall of interns to mentally capture the look of awe on their sweet little faces. Millen, Adelaide Kane, and Quan, Harry Shum Jr., are M.I. Griffith, Alexis Floyd, Adams, Nico Taro, and Yasuda, Midori Francis, look bored or half asleep. It appears that a sentence of handling procedures all day long, instead of clocking hours in the OR, has caused the magic to evaporate from our shiny, eager interns. After one of the most epic Bailey eye rolls, Arizona reminds Bailey that this is a teaching hospital, and she has done one hell of a job with past pupils. The kiddos need to be back in the OR making mistakes, Bailey agrees. The rest of us are terrified that mistakes will be made on us, but that's more of a me issue, and we must move on. Let's talk about the ridiculously charming Doug Millen, Nick Caffaro. Who knew Hardcore Jules had a brother who is a pretend doctor? Darling Doug, decked out in eggplant-colored scrubs no less, arrives at Gray Sloan with his social media pal Joshi. Doug is a wellness influencer who tells most of his followers to drink more water. Unfortunately, that doesn't help the rather large abscess on Joshi's back. The actual Dr. Millen fights in the ER with the fake Dr. Millen and makes him swear he will not speak to anyone, especially Owen, Kevin McKidd. This simple request is neglected when Doug passes out in the hallway upon watching Yasuda and his sister receive a face full of pus from a relieved abscess. Owen revives Doug and tells him that his sister is a legitimately gifted doctor, and Doug should find another line of work. Speaking of gifted, Link, Chris Carmack, and Richard, James Pickens Jr., ask Teddy, Kim Raver, to join them in a mock OR room to see if she's ready to practice medicine again. After spending the entire day repairing a plastic man's heart, Richard clears Teddy. She's ecstatic to be cutting again, but it's Richard who whips his gown and gloves off in a panic, spooked by something in the OR. Teddy learns that Richard hasn't been in the OR for several weeks. When he entered the room, it felt off and he never settled into his skin. So he left. Teddy assures him that if she feels he is ever not in a position to operate, she will intervene. But he's not there yet. The same cannot be said for Quan, who gets a case of the nerves when gunshot wound Dorian wakes up. After 3 episodes, he speaks. But he also needs a chest tube, and Quan is unable to perform it, which is very odd. Schmidt has to, Jake Borelli, intervened at the last second. It turns out that Quan saw Maxine's face when Dorian couldn't breathe. If anyone understands this mental block, it's Schmidt. He kindly but firmly lets Quan in on a secret. That image will dull over time, but it won't go away completely. And that's a good thing. It makes him a better doctor. Even though the interns are still in trouble, the surgical interns must band together in order to make each other better. They are a team, and it's the only thing that will get them through this chaotic time. And maybe one day, they will be as cool as those who have gone before them. Not Derek Shepard cool, of course, but it's a good bar to try and reach. #McSteamy4EVA